Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to go through some beginner tips for Illusion Connect. We're on day one. It's just gone global launch. People are starting to progress. So I just wanted to give you some sort of early tips to help you progress a little bit faster. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing, as soon as you can get friends, go ahead here, send request and go fast request as many as you can till you hit the max. And you really want to fill out your friends list. Once again, come here, accept all as they come in. You want to fill out your friends because then you go send request, and this is going to give you, if we go to friends, and you go fast claim, it's going to give you stamina. So just go fast give, fast claim, come back whenever it's got the dot and claim them because it's going to give you some stamina. Try not to overcap stamina, but that's pretty much the gist to it there. Jumping into partners. Now this is something I think everyone will want to do. As you can see, my rare heroes, I've got them all start up. I've only done, I think, 5 10 pulls so far. So if you're curious about my reroll, on the first 2 10 pulls, I got Maki and Kiara, and I really do like Maki as an attacker, so I kept this one. Unfortunately, with the next 3, all I've gotten was an Ashwaya, who I will use eventually, but she's more of a counter to sorcerer comps to deal some nice damage to them. So, and I haven't had anything either with a heavy enough single target to warrant getting the ads in there, so I haven't used her yet. But that's pretty much what my reroll was. Haven't had too much luck since. Still haven't spent anything on the game. But like I said, when you go into here and you see that I've started all these guys up, what you want to do is you want to go in after you've done a few summons and start lens upgrading everything that you can. You literally just go into one of them and you'll see on the right hand side where it has lens. If it's got an exclamation mark, it means you can lens them up. And you just start scrolling through until you see someone that can be lensed up. And then what you get from that is going to be the lens chest, and you can pick up 5 shards of SRs from the rare heroes. Are going to give you SR shards, which is nice. But if we go back here, and the reason you really want to do this, Rikia and Pan are 2 of the best SRs in the game, and you really want to have them as early as you can. I unfortunately have not summoned them. However, I am at 25 pieces of Rikia and 20 pieces of Pan. So, you know, a couple more summons where I get a couple more dupes of rares, and I'll be fine to go ahead and get them and summon them and start using them. So it's not the absolute, like, I'd still like re-rolling for them, but you know, I got sick of re-rolling, so I just settled with what I have. But definitely go through and do that. Really worth it. Next thing I want to talk about quickly is gear. Whatever you're using in your team, just quickly go here, go to equipment, fast equip, fast enhance, and that's pretty much all there is to it for the early days. It's not too expensive in these very early stages. Just get it on, enhance it. If you got your main damage dealer and you're like, oh, I don't know if it's got my best gear, you can just click on the weapon, go change, and you can see the other options you have for gear from that one. Same with any other slot, you can go change, and then you can see if you've got any other upgrades. But try and keep your best gear on your main attacker. When we look at leveling up, as you can see, level 45 on my 2 attackers and my sorcerer. I like leveling up damage dealers first, especially early on. Once you get into the later stages, when you're looking at breakpoints of like level 80 and stuff like that, sometimes you might want to do a damage dealer than a tank or something like that. But early on, yeah, the damage dealers are what's really going to carry you. A lot of people have something like a Pan, which is going to be really handy. I got the Maki instead, but that's the kind of gist you want to go for there. The next thing I want to mention is, now I did a tier list video, I'll leave it linked in the description, but don't rely on the tier list as like everything, because once again, there's a friend that just popped up. Nice. Don't rely on the tier list, because early on especially, you've just got to make the most of what you have. Now I'm just going to touch on some like SRs and Rs that I'm using and why I'm using them. I have made a video about SR partners, and I will make one about rares specifically, but just to give you guys an idea if you're struggling. So for me, I really needed AoE damage. Now this isn't the greatest AoE, but she's actually really decent. As you can see, she gains 1 immunity to fatal damage per battle, which is handy, and then her ultimate, she attacks 3 random enemies. It's not full AoE, but you can make it work normally. Has a 60% chance to trigger frenzy, dealing 100% additional damage So it goes up to a 380, and then if I could get some dupes of her in 3-star, it would be really nice to upgrade this. But also stuns the target for a round. HP is reduced to 1 after the frenzy, which isn't the end of the world, especially if you put it in the back row, because if you've got her behind something, it means she's going to go down to 1 HP, but she still has immunity to death, so she can survive 1 AoE, and you might be able to heal before that. But nice little niche option for some AoE damage if you want to get it. Then over here we have Shanti. Now Shanti, or Shanti, I don't know how you say it. Accent always gets me in every game that I play, but she is really nice in against basically anything that has really strong single target nukers. When Shanti appears, she grants invincible for 15 seconds. So pretty much we don't even worry about what this is doing. This is just dealing some damage. Doesn't really matter. Literally just for this. If you're fighting against something like a Maki or any other strong single target damage dealer, a Pan, anything like that, you just wait until their rage meter is almost full, drop her in front of whoever you need to protect, and she's basically just going to sit there and absorb the damage, take nothing. So really handy niche one. You don't even have to invest too many levels into it to get anything out of it. Yes, if you want this to do some more damage, you can invest some levels. However, I've just left mine at 15, and she works nichely in the situations that I do need her to do that. For the R's, a couple other quick ones to look at. If you're desperate for a healer, there's Polly, but you do get Jasmine, so I'd just use Jasmine instead if I were you. I am playing around with Diamond. I really do like the synergies of Diamond bouncing someone back to the hand. So I'm she's considered not too strong, but I really did want to play with her and find out how she works for me, and I really do enjoy her so far. I had Anna on my previous account, which is really strong, the SSR healer, but I do like the ability that she bounces an allied partner back. So for me, what I've been doing a lot of is I can sometimes do it with Shanti, have Shanti mitigate some damage, bounce her back, and then get the mitigation again. Or I can put her out there, she uses her AoE, stuns, goes down to 1 HP, bounces back to the hand, and then put her straight back in. And then sometimes I've been using it with Maki to use my Maki basically twice because she's my strongest nuker. But Diamond actually has some nice synergies, and the great thing about her is the two that you don't bounce back are going to get an attack and a defense buff and healed, so it's not too bad. Playing around with her, still unsure, but if you've got her, definitely test her out and see what synergies you can find for your team. For the rares, we've got Carol over here. She's got a nice passive where when she attacks, she's going to reduce the enemy's attack by 65% for 10 seconds. Really, really good, especially if your enemy leader is an AoE nuker who you're having trouble surviving against. If you can clear a path for Carol to go ahead and attack that enemy leader, then it's going to mitigate a lot of that AoE damage and help you survive further into the battle. So Carol's one I used on my previous account a lot. Mary's another one that has some nice synergies. The thing I like about Mary and Carol is that they both have low deployment costs. So we've got 9 and 8. 8 is really cheap, and when she appears, the damage rate of all allied partners in the hand is increased by 15%. So not too bad there. I can't remember what the lens upgrade was for it. Increases crit rate, but okay, she gets an increased crit rate, so it doesn't actually help her teammates, but she does increase the damage of your teammates in the hand, which is kind of handy just to get that extra nuke if that's what you're looking for. So even with the AoE damage dealers, you know, if you have 2 other AoE damage dealers in your hand, you drop her, the next 2 that you drop are going to deal some extra damage, which is nice. So that is it for the pretty much everything in the character page. Next up, I wanted to look at the trials. Now, daily trials, once again, I've said this in previous videos, but when you look at the extra reward attempts, as you can see, I haven't done this one yet, I've just unlocked that. I only do them until I've done the extra reward attempts. The reason for this is if you playing early on, you're going to use a lot of stamina progressing through the campaign on both difficulties. Now, you can refresh this, but as you can see, use today 3 of 5. I'm going to get 2 more refreshes on this. Yes, I can get some more stamina from friends, from sending those friends gifts, but this is really important. Do not just spam these things in day 1 or 2. Only do the ones that you get you to basically do the extra reward attempts, because you get shards for that. Really important to do them. You definitely want to do those. But besides that, don't be spamming these and just refresh stamina. Otherwise, you'll hit a limit where you're like, I can't refresh stamina anymore. You can't get any more from your friends, and you're just like stamina capped. You can't get any more and you're stuck. Later on in the game, a few weeks in, stamina won't be as much of an issue. You'll sort of just be burning it as you can just to get rid of it, because you need to burn it. But yeah, definitely early on, try to avoid just dumping all your stamina into these things. Exploration stuff, that's just basic. Just do those things as you find them. As for this one over here in our little housing system, just keep this as a red dot simulator. If you see a red dot, you click it and you upgrade anything that can be upgraded. Pretty basic there. We do have the idle feature as well, which comes in. I just try and spread it out to things that are going to be the best for me. And as you can see, come back to this a few times, because I have summoned my GG and my Ashwaya since then. And you just look at the top here for what partners are going to be beneficial. So this one here, she's going to be my worst one. Take her out. She's going to give me +5. Sweet, pretty easy. Then GG is going to slot into a room with her symbol, which is over here. We're going to reduce the lowest one here, which is her. We're going to take that out, put you in for 8, and you get the bonus. So now if we go to the one with the green symbol, as you can see, I'm going to get 1.1% there. Let's take the 1.5, and you just try and balance it out to give you your best possible results from these rooms. But not the end of the world, these things, but just handy things to keep on top of and just keep an eye out for. So that's pretty much all we've got to look at here. Also, when you see the hand on it, it's really weird. I don't get it, but just go and pat their heads, because they're it sounds so weird. But if you browse around and you see any of them with the pat head symbol, just do it, because I'm seeing if there is anyone else. Here we go. There's one more. Got it. Oh, if I could get that. There it is. So you pat the head. And now it may seem stupid, intimacy, yes, whatever. But the reason you're doing that is because in these Wings of Growth, there is going to be on day 2, 3, or 4, one that says you got to pat heads. So just pat the heads. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. Anyway, moving on to that. When we look at this, you get these resource cards. Now, these resource cards, the amount they drop is going to be dependent on how far you are into the game. So don't just spam these. You only use these when you're at like a breakpoint where you really do need to use them. Pretty much early on, you're just going to save them, because they're not going to get you much mileage early on. The next thing you can look at is over here. You can just basically open all your consumables that you can in here. Anything that's openable. Ooh, not bad. SR. And you can open them, and then you'll get a bunch of these ones. You'll get the purple, blues, and greens of these. It's going to give you gifts. Make sure you jump over to your, not your partners, to your album, and give the gifts. So if we go over here, give the gifts to the characters that you think you're going to use. And at the start, I'm only giving gifts that have the red hearts, because they're going to get the extra bonus. As you can see, this one gives 3 + 1, whereas a normal green one only gives +3. So you want to spread them out. You don't, like, even if you really want to work on one character, I still recommend doing this and only giving the red hearts, because you've got to eventually build a lot of them, and you're going to need to spread them out. So over here, I'm going to go over here to Kiara. As you can see, this one's got a red heart, so I'll dump that in. And then if I look at Marky, she's my other key one that I'm doing. There we go, we've got 2 blue ones for her, and that's going to go ahead and raise up that intimacy, giving her a stat boost and all the good stuff. So we want those stat boosts as much as we can, but we also want to optimize the efficiency of using those gifts to go ahead and get it. The other thing was, in that album, make sure you just come back here and get some extra stuff for summons. As soon as you unlock a character, you'll be able to hit this. There'll be a little chest down the bottom here, and you can go ahead and collect that and get some extra diamonds to do some more summons. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the tips on day 1. Hopefully that's enough to get you pointing in the right direction, but not be overwhelming and start progressing. But it's pretty fun. I'm actually enjoying this global account. I'm really enjoying the Marky. Marky's really cool. Hopefully I can get my Pan soon, and then I can just go an all-out attacker team and just work on nuking bosses even harder. That's my game plan going into this one. The last account I did more AoE based, so I'm really keen to test just some single target nuking and destroying bosses. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.